Battlefield 6 has a major problem that's heading to their shores right now. Battlefield 6 outsold Black Ops 7 this year as one of the biggest games to release for EA DICE. EGN's reporting EA layoffs staff across all Battlefield 6 studios following record-breaking Battlefield 6 launch. Even having the success of breaking their own record sales, they're still having mass layoffs across Battlefield 6. Even with the sales, it wasn't even enough for EA. You can see what's happening with Season 1 and Season 2 that it's coming. There's barely any new weapons, there's barely any new vehicles, there's barely any new maps. They are dropping only one map, but overall, what's happening? From recording this video, EA reportedly has 47,000 players right now. The all-time peak, 747. EA dropped the ball. They could have done so much better. They could have done so much things to keep the momentum and the fall of Call of Duty rolling. Everybody saw how Battlefield 2042 was. The launch was terrible. Queues were forever long, 30 minutes to an hour plus. The gunplay was kind of floaty. A lot of the characters' movement was floaty too. It felt like Call of Duty, and a lot of people was not appealed to that. And right now, with all this news is going out, Battlefield 6 is going on to free to play for the weekend as players lose interest. So yeah, Season 2 has launched. A lot of people are not happy about it because they only released maybe 4 guns and a couple attachments with that, but a lot of people who play Battlefield want the new map, want the new modes, different factions, different uniforms, you know, the cinematic of Battlefield. I'm thinking I'm still living in the nostalgia days because I'm still thinking about Battlefield 1. When Call of Duty was down bad, EA Battlefield 1 released a trailer in 2016, and ever since then you couldn't get like cinematic scenes, a lot of realism. You get sucked into the game, the screams. The time it took to build that game was phenomenal. It's still one of the highest Battlefields on my list. It's one of the Battlefields I very cherish. But over time, you can see the AAA games, the corporate greed, the live service game models, it's getting tiring to a lot of gamers. And a lot of gamers do not like the live service models anymore because we just want a simple game, multiplayer, get in and get out games, or keep the lobby type games, and all simple progression. I don't need a progression to the battle pass. I don't need a progression to the season pass or whatever. And how bad that Battlefield 6 is so monetized that you buy the battle pass, but you want the premium battle pass, let me give you $20 more, which a lot of people do not like that. I don't like that. Personally, I don't like that. I think it's a facade. I think it's really a type of game that shouldn't never sit there and put that, but a lot of people want the live service models. Look at Marathon, look at Bungie. Ever since Destiny 1 and 2 came out and so many people played that, a lot of these games tend to go into the live service model, and Marathon right now is not doing so hot. They only have maybe 74,000 players on top of it, but overall, if this is happening to DICE and EA, all these layoffs, and a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, Marathon's peak, Marathon's this, not to hate. You can have fun with the game, but not to hate. Do you think this not going to happen to Bungie again? Look at Highguard right now. The developers are getting laid off on that game too. Tencent pulled their funding after 2 weeks. They didn't see the numbers that they were promised to. A lot of these investment companies are pulling their funding away from a lot of games. A lot of these investment firms for these studios are under the boot of these investment companies. If they don't produce the numbers that these investment companies want, they will pull the funding, then shut down the studio. Look at Sony, how many studios they shut down. Look at Microsoft, look how many studios they had to shut down because they're just lingering, they're not making profit. And a lot of people can see that. A lot of people do not like the way that of AAA development. Look at the Bungie of CEO. They do not want to over deliver anymore. The promise that will hurt them in the future. What kind of bullcrap is that? If you over deliver, a lot of people have expectations. That's what you want. Have competitive. You want to do all that, but look what AAA developers, if it doesn't bring out the margins, it doesn't have the profit, they will tank the game. Look at Battlefield 6. It made the profits and all that, but at the end of the day, pull the rug underneath a million gamers. That put a sour taste in my mouth, and I bet it put a sour taste in your mouth. But the AAA executives don't care about the players. I think the devs do, but at the end of at the end of the day, they're stuck behind the boot or underneath the boot of the executives. They can't do anything. And that's why a lot of gamers are catering to indie devs. Indie devs know what the gamers want. They put fun, a good game loop in there. They take the time, they care about. They don't make the game for everybody. They make the game for themselves and hope for other people to sit there and play it. That's why indie games are over here overtaking the market, showing what AAA cannot do anymore. That favors the gamers. A lot of times you see Schedule 1, you see Vampire Survivor, you see Power World, you see all these different smaller creators, smaller indie devs over here overtaking the world with their games because they're fun. They have a good game loop, like I said before. You ask questions to the AAA and it's crickets. They never reply. They say what they get to it within months. With the indie dev, they sit there, you have a question, you have a concern, they try to fix it right then and there. As a gamer or a customer, the customer experience is way better with the indie dev than it is with the AAA. Then Battlefield 6, the devs, they cited that they have a lack of resources as the reason for a limited number of maps per season. That's enraging to me because they made over $10 million. They had the resources, they had the team, but now we know because they laid off most of the devs. And it's crazy if you want to think like that. It's crazy how they sit there and gut their whole dev team and leave a skeleton crew for thousands of players to sit there and ask their questions and concerns. And that's a prime example of what I was saying. But I believe AAA will never listen to the players or the gamers or other devs, or they're not seeing the game market. But that's my 2 cents. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, whatever, morning, wherever you're watching this. Please like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you think. I think AAA will never sit there and listen to us. I think indies take over, and that's a good thing, I believe. But yeah, you guys on the flip side, peace.